Like, comment, and subscribe.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're unlocking the secrets behind a really nail-biting T20 international cricket match. It had pretty much everything: explosive batting, smart bowling, and some really dramatic turning points. We've been digging through the details from the third T20I between West Indies and Pakistan that was played just recently, August 3rd, 2025, over in Lauderhill, Florida. And this wasn't just any match, the series was locked at 1-1, so the pressure immense for both sides. Our mission here in this deep dive is to figure out how Pakistan managed to, smash expectations, clinch this absolute decider, and take the series 2-1. You're going to hear about some incredible individual efforts and those crucial tactical moments that really swung the game.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is how clearly the source material pinpoints those moments.
Yeah.
Where the momentum just shifted. Specific decisions, key player actions, they really mattered. We'll dig into the patterns that led to Pakistan's win, and West Indies has fallen short.
Okay, let's get into it. So picture this. Pakistan walks out to bat first. Series on the line. High stakes. And they didn't just, nudge around. They launched an assault, basically laying down a marker from ball one. What was the thinking there? How did they manage that explosive start, and who really drove that?
Well, it seems like it was a very deliberate approach.
Yeah.
Sahibzada Farhan, what an inning. 74 of 53 balls. That included 5 massive sixes. And Ayub, right there with him, smashing 66 off 49. That opening stand, 138 runs. It wasn't just big. It was utterly dominant. An opening partnership like that in T20 cricket, it's not just about the runs on the board. It's about grabbing the whole rhythm of the game. They weren't just scoring fast, they were scoring efficiently. High strike rates. They just never let the West Indies bowlers find any sort of groove.
Right. So putting West Indies on the back foot, basically from the word go. And Farhan 74, you mentioned masterful, but what made it an anchoring inning specifically?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, anchoring. It's more than just the score. Farhan, he stayed there for a good chunk of the innings. He soaked up that initial pressure, and that allowed Ayub and others later to play more aggressively around him. He was that solid base, the foundation that let Pakistan climb to that really formidable 189 for 4 in their 20 overs, which in a series decider, under that kind of pressure, is a very, very good total. And even after those two fell, you had contributions down the order. Hassan Nawaz, Harris, Kushdil Shah, Fahim Ashraf, just ensuring they capitalized on that start and got to that big score.
A formidable target, no doubt. Okay, so West Indies begin their chase. And they started pretty well, didn't they? Jewel Andrew and Alec Athanaze put on a quick 44. Athanaze himself went on to score 60. Looked good. Then Sahibzada Rutherford comes in, keeps the hope alive. Right? A really quick 51 off just 35 balls. At that point, it felt like they were keeping up. It could have gone either way, really, but then things seemed to shift dramatically. What happened there?
Yeah, this is where the mental side, the psychology of the game really kicks in. You could almost feel the air go out of the West Indies effort. It centered around one specific moment, or sequence, really. Roston Chase, who was set, batting well, he retired hurt. And that wasn't just losing a player at a crucial time. It completely threw off their rhythm, their whole game plan. Suddenly you've got a new batsman coming in, cold, under pressure, totally unplanned. It just disrupts everything.
Wow. So that one event, it really flipped the script, didn't it? What followed immediately after he walked off?
Well, that's a killer blow, really. Immediately after Chase retired hurt, Jason Holder was out. Next ball, that 1-2 punch, that was incredibly decisive. The sources really highlight that as the moment West Indies chase just, crumbled, they effectively folded from that point, finishing 13 runs short, 176 for 6.
Okay, so a combination of misfortune and maybe a bit of panic. But it wasn't just West Indies faltering, was it? Pakistan's bowlers really turned the screw. Tell us a bit about their bowling strategy in those pressure moments.
Absolutely. Pakistan's bowling unit, they were smart, disciplined. It wasn't just about raw pace or individual stars. They mixed things up really well. Pace variations, clever use of spin. Constantly applying pressure, forcing West Indies into taking risks that they probably didn't want to take. You mentioned turning points. Sufyan Muqeem's 18th over, that was absolutely vital. The 18th over in a tight T20 chase. It's often make or break, isn't it?
Definitely.
And he delivered. Got Holder out, tightened things up significantly, taking those key wickets just when they were needed most.
Sounds like clinical execution under pressure from Pakistan's bowlers. Now, was there anything West Indies could have done differently? Or was it just Pakistan being too good on the day? And Mohammad Nawaz, he ended up as a player of this series, right? What was it about his spin that troubled West Indies so much?
Yeah, and Raz was a constant threat throughout the series. That Player of the Series award was well-deserved, definitely built on performances like this. West Indies' difficulty against spin, it suggests they struggled with the changes in pace, maybe the trajectory, the bounce. It has made it really hard for them to score freely, particularly finding the boundary in those crucial middle overs. They got bogged down, lots of dot balls. That builds pressure, forces mistakes, rash shots. It's a weakness Pakistan identified and exploited brilliantly. Their bowling changes overall were spot on. Muqeem, Haris Rauf, Nawaz, they all delivered when it mattered. And speaking of awards, let's not forget Sahibzada Farhan, player of the match for that brilliant 74. That composure under pressure, anchoring the innings, just fantastic.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what does this mean for you, our listener, taking this deep dive with us? We've seen Pakistan really powered by that massive opening stand and then some incredibly clinical bowling when the pressure was highest, secure a pretty significant series